Welcome to this channel. My name is Omolade Adeyemi. I am the CEO of Lariche Designs. If you are new to this channel, you need to subscribe to this channel because on this particular platform, what will be taking you is basically pattern drafting. How to draft your pattern. In today's training, we are going to teach you how to draft a basic skirt pattern. This is the skirt I'm talking about. This is our basic skirt. Look at it from the front. So I'm turning for you to see the back. This is the back, and we have a bum contouring part here and the zip section. So let's get started. This training is going to be divided into 5 sections. We are going to teach you how to take your skirt measurements, how to draft it on pattern, how to draft your basic skirt, how to cut your drafting, how to cut your pattern on fabric, and how to sew it. And our days of training will be Monday and Tuesday, while our flashback is going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Our live chat is going to be every Saturday. Stay tuned on how we achieve this beautiful skirt. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to comment and extend your love to us by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. Thank you. Hello, my name is Adeyemi Omolade, I'm the CEO of Lariche Designs. Today, what we are treating is the basic skirt pattern. So we're going to do the basic skirt pattern. I'm going to show you how to draft the skirt pattern. So let's get started. The materials involved is the tape measure. We're going to use the tape measure. We have the eraser in case you have some mistakes you want to erase. Mistakes are bound to happen. The ruler also. We have the pencil, the marker, and your paper scissors. Today I'm not going to use the pencil. The reason is because I want my pictures to be clear to you. But normally we use pencil to draft, not marker. Because marker, I will show you, marker adds to the measurement. But for you to see what I'm doing clearly, I have to use the marker for the drafting of today. Or subsequently, I will use the marker. So I'm letting aside my pencil and the eraser. So let's get started. Firstly, the measurement parameters you're going to use for your skirt pattern is the skirt length. We have the skirt length. My skirt length is 27, sorry. My knee line is 21. My hip depth is 13. My hip is 44, and my skirt band is 34. So those are the measurements needed for our skirt pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take my knee line, because we're going to work on the knee line. We're going to work on these measurements. So when we're about to cut, we include this. Excuse me. So we're going to work on the knee line. So first I'm going to take my knee measurements, which is 21. My knee measurement is 21, so I'm going to take my measurements like this. Start from the beginning of the paper. Then I mark on both sides. (21). (21). (21). I'm going to do that all through my paper so that it covers for the front and the back pattern. 21. so I'm rolling that out. So I'm rolling it out. 21. So the next measurement I'm going to take now is the hip depth, which is 13. I'm going to take my hip depth measurements and measure all through the paper the way I did for the knee line, the way I measured the knee line. So let's continue. 13. I'm marking on both sides. 13. 13. 13. 13. And I'm also marking that out also. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to divide 1.5 into 2 to take the area, to get the area where our curvy on the hip depth. So to get the curvy parts, the curvy area of our hip. So I'm going to take 1.5. I'm going to measure 1.5. I'll divide it into 2 like this. And share it in between my hip depth line, and share it in between, one up, one down, in between my hip depth line. So I'm doing that now. 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down. I'm going to do that all through my paper also. 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down. So I'm going to mark that out too. So I'm marking that out. So I've marked that out. So why I have my phone beside me is for calculating, so I need to calculate. So the next thing I'm going to start is to do with the front. I'm starting with the front pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'll take my hip measurements for the front. The way we calculate the hip measurements for the front is our hip, which is 44, divided by 4 minus 0.5. Why I minus 0.5 is, the back we have the boots, which is the bum bum. So we reduce the measurement for the front so that we have a very flat pattern for the front, and add it back to the back measurement. So when we get to the back, we'll add that 0.5 back to the back. So for the front, we do 44 divided by 4 minus 0.4. That's the measurement for the front. So look at the way I'm doing it. I'm going to take it, which I have 10.5. I'm going to start from the top of my pattern and measure 10.5. Mind you, that is for the hip. But I'm going to take it down to get a straight line. I need a straight line first before I continue my measurement. So I'll measure 10.5. Why I'm doing this is to demarcate between the front and the back, and I need a straight line, so I don't want to take any other line. any other measurements than the measurements I'm working on. So that is why I'm taking the hip measurements for that to get the straight line I need. So which is 10.5. 10.5 down to the hip, down to the knee line. 10.5. You need to be conscious of your measurements. 10.5. This is 10.5. This is 10.5. So the next thing I'm going to do is to roll it out, and to square it out. So squaring it out, squaring it out. So with this, I've demarcated the front from the back. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take my skirt band measurement. So I'm taking my skirt band measurement, which the skirt band here is 34. I have 34 as my skirt band, which is, I'm going to divide, for notes for the skirt band, for the front pattern. Basically, you're not to add your dart to the front. The back will complement the dart for the front. So we are going to put the dart back to the front. We are not adding dart to the front. Note this, we are not adding that to the front. So it's just our skirt band, which is 34 divided by 4. That's all. So I have 8.5. So I come here, I take 8.5. So I take 8.5 here. So that's for the skirt band. So for the hip, you know, I already have our hip measurement. That is the first thing we did. So that is 10.5. That is our hip divided by 4 minus 0.5. So it gives me 10.5. So for the knee measurement, what we are going to do is we calculate, we try and measure what we have here for the hip, which is 10.5. We are going to minus we are going to minus 1 inch from this and take it as our hip line measurement. So for the hip here, we have 10.5 minus 1. We are going to, that will give us 9.5. So our knee measurement here will be 9.5. So I'm marking 9.5 here. So the next thing is I'm going to shape that out. I'm going to join my lines together like this. So another thing is, one last thing for the front is, basically for the front, we don't do a straight skirt. It doesn't come this way. For the front skirt, we always have this curvy shape at the front of our skirt. So for me to achieve that, I come here to my skirt band, I bring down ½ inch. I bring down ½ of an inch on my skirt band. So watch the way I shape that out. So I'm going to join my skirt band to the hip lines, which I'm going to try and place my ruler to hold the 3 lines together. So I'm joining the skirt band to the hip like this. So for me to join the hip and the knee line together, I'm using the straight part of my ruler. I'm using this side and I'm placing it to the 3rd line here, the one here, to join the knee line measurement. So watch the way I do that. Hold on, please hold on. In case you don't know, we have an online fashion institute. We are going to teach you full pattern drafting training. We are going to take you from the scratch, how to use your machine, to the climax. You're going to be the best designers in town. For more information, visit our website on www.larichedesigns.com. So this is my skirt band. So this is my front skirt, and the last thing I'm going to do about the front skirt is to shape my band, the front band. the front band, I'm shaping it like this. Shaping the front band like this. So, and note for this edge of our skirt band, you're not to cut anything off the edge. Anyway, you see the way I cut it, so I'm not to chop off anything off this edge. So that is all about my front pattern. This is the front. This is the front pattern. So, and this is the up note. Anyway, you should know this is at the end of the cutting, we'll be having a curvy line here, and this is going to be straight. But most of the time, I always like noting it that this is the up. So I'll know this is up and this is the knee line. So that is that about the front. So we are going to the back. So let me try and label those lines so you see for yourself. So this is the hip depth line. So this is the 1.5 I divide into 2. 1.5 inch that I divide into 2. So, and this is my skirt band. Then 1/2 inch that I shape down. 1/2 inch down. So that is that about the front skirt pattern. So we are going to this back pattern. So this is the hip line. The hip line. So we're going to the back pattern now. So for the back pattern, we're going to start with the way we started for the front. In the way we started the front, I said we are going to divide our hip into 4 and minus 0.5. That was the first line. After this, the knee line, the hip depth, and dividing 1.5 into 2. The next thing we did is the hip, which we divide into 4 minus 0.5. So for the back, what we are going to do for the back is we also divide our hip into 4, which is 44 divided by 4. The 0.5 we minus from the front, we add it back to the back. So it will be hip minus 4, hip divided by 4 plus 0.5. So our hip divided by 4 plus 0.5. So I have 11.5 there. So I'm going to take 11.5 measurements, starting from the top of my pattern paper. So 11.5, taking 11.5 down to my knee line. So 11.5, 11.5, mind you, I'm taking it off the knee straight line, on the straight line, not over the curvy one, on the straight line. So 11.5, 11.5. So I'm rolling that out. So I'm rolling that out. I'm rolling that out. So the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my skirt band. So for the back, I have skirt band. I have 34 as my skirt band. So for the back, which I said earlier at the back, we are going to have our dart at the back. So it's going to be 34 divided by 4. Divided by 4 plus 1.25. You see, in our previous video, I said what I use for my darts is 1.25 for the darts. 1.25, not 1 inch. So our skirt band, which is a skirt band divided by 4 plus 1.25. Now I have 9.75. So I'm going to come here and measure 9.75. That is 9 3/4 on your tape measure. which is this. So I already have my hip measurements, which is this. So I have 11.5. Like I did for the front, I'm going to minus 1 inch from the hip measurement and use it for my knee line measurement. It makes your skirt looks fit and very perfect on you. So we have 11.5 here. So when it gets here, it's going to be 10.5. Mind you, you're taking away 1 inch from the hip measurement. So we have 10.5. So the next thing is I'm shaping that out too. So watch the way I shaped out my pattern, my beautiful skirt pattern. So I'm shaping out this way. So I'm going to join this last line to the knee line. So I'm going to join this together like this. So that is not all about my pattern. So the next thing we are going to do is to know where our dart is going to be. To know where our dart. We can't just pick our skirt and say we are going to fix that without knowing the accurate measurement where, or the place where your dart should be placed. The place where your dart should be placed. Note that. So I'm going to come here. Come to the skirt band. You know, I said earlier the measurement here is 9 3/4. I'm going to divide that into 2. I'm going to divide it into 2 and determine the midpoint, which is here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come to the exact hip depth line. You try and trace this line down. So you come to the exact hip depth line, which is this. The hip depth line, which is this. You take 3 inches up your pattern, which is like this. This is 3 inches. So you draw a straight line from this midpoint you've drawn, from this one you've drawn to this 3 inches line like this. Then we'll construct our dart. So you divide, I said earlier that our dart is 1.25, which is this. You divide it into 2 to construct your darts. So to construct your dart, you place one here and one on the other side. So you construct your darts. So that is my beautiful dart. So the last but not the least thing we are going to do on the back pattern is what we call the bum bum contouring. What we have is shaping of our bum bum to give it a fitting bum bum at the back. Most of the time you see some skirts will be like the way the hip is coming, it just comes straight down like that. We need to shape our bum bum so that your skirt will fall into the shape of your boobs and your bum bum and down like that to give that part a fine beautiful shape. So for that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take place my tape rule on the exact hip depth line, bring down 1.5 like this, and also 5 inches down. I'm taking that again. I'm placing my tape rule on the exact hip depth line. I measure 1.5 inch down and also 5 inches down. I want to arrive at a shape. So the next thing, I'll come to the 5 inches down and bring in 1.5 like this. So I'm shaping that out. Like I said, I want to arrive at a shape. So it's a triangle shape I'm going to arrive at. So in case you don't know how to draw a triangle, this is triangle. So that is that about that. So the last thing but not the least is I'm shaping out my bum bum. So I place my tape rule, I place it like this on my pattern, like this on my pattern, like this on my pattern. Then shape out this SS because there's a SS there. It is called SS. We call it SS. This is the excess we have there. So this is excess we have there. You're going to, so after cutting and shaping this out, wow, you see how beautiful the skirt will look on you. So that is that on our basic skirt pattern. So let me try and label it so that you won't get confused about the whole thing. So this is the skirt band. Skirt band. This is the darts. This is 3 inches down. Sorry, 3 inches up, because we were taking it from the hip depth up. So 3 inches up from the hip depth. So this is our darts. So this is our knee line. Sorry, measurement. So this is the knee line. So this is our official bum bum. Bum bum contouring. So that is that about our skirts pattern. So have a nice day. Bye.